Hey guys, we're here today with Echo, and we are teaching you guys how to introduce leash pressure to your dog. Okay, the big point that we want to make here is making sure that we're introducing this leash pressure where there's no distractions around. Okay, we're doing it in the house where they live, in probably the most boring room in the house. Okay, so if it's a house where there's kids running around, or a room in the house where there's kids running around, or there's other dogs in the house running around, that's not going to be the best area. Okay, so you want to find a boring part of the house. Okay, put the leash on, and this is where we're going to introduce the leash pressure. Okay, so if your dog is food motivated, you're going to put up their food into your pocket. Okay, and we're going to use that throughout this. If your dog is not food motivated, that's okay. We do not have to use the food early on with this. Okay, we can just use the leash and our praise to tell them that they did the right thing. Okay, so let's get her up. Now, when I want to teach a dog to sit, okay, and we want to first introduce this leash pressure, I like to do it with the sit. So I'm not going to give the sit command. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to apply slight vertical pressure until the dog sits. Okay, now your dog is not going to sit as quickly as Echo is here. Okay, she's been doing this for a while now. Okay, she's getting much better at it. But when your dog feels that pressure for the first time, it's going to want to gnaw at the pressure, bite at it. It's going to want to paw at the pressure. It's going to want to fight and back away from the pressure. Okay, it's going to do everything to go against the pressure. Okay, the goal is to hold that pressure there until they eventually go with it. When they finally go with it and that butt hits the ground, all that pressure immediately goes away and she's positively reinforced with food. Okay, so altogether it'll look something like this. Yes, good. Good girl. Okay. Okay, now that your dog understands that when you apply vertical pressure, you're asking them to sit. Okay, now we want to add the verbal cue in there. All we're going to do is we're just going to say sit right before we apply that leash pressure. Okay, we're going to say sit, apply the pressure, and reward. It's all exactly the same. We just add the verbal right before. Okay, now now that they know sit, we're going to add other directions. We can do the down where we're pulling pressure down towards the ground, or this one we're going to do where they're coming towards us. Okay, so we'll have her stay here, and then I'm just going to apply slight pressure towards me. When she goes with the pressure, it's yes and reward. Notice how light the pressure was there for her to start to come with me because we've done this a lot. Okay. Understand the first time you do this with your dog, if it is in a very low distracting environment and you're using food, then it's going to be very easy. Okay. If you're doing it in a more distracting environment and you don't have a high value reward, understand the dog's going to fight the pressure longer. So when we introduce this, we want to do it under the lowest amount of distractions with the highest amount of rewards. Now, if your dog does not want to take the food from your hand and you have not taught the dog how to eat from your hand yet, okay, then you're going to have to either use training treats or just don't use any treats at all, don't use any food at all until you build that drive up and just use the leash pressure and your praise. So telling them that they did a good job when they finally do what you're asking them to do. Okay, so slight pressure towards us, they follow, yes, and reward.